Year 8, today we're going to carry on looking at area of triangles. So I have an example here taken from Hecate where we're supposed to calculate the area of this triangle. I want to first look at some of the theory behind calculating the area of a triangle. So the easiest way that I remember how to calculate a triangle is that we have to use the upright height. So you wouldn't measure your height down a slope, but you would measure it upright. So whenever we're looking at a triangle, we're always going to use this upright height here. So the area of a triangle is base times by height. So this upright one here and this bottom length here, the base of it. But we have to divide that by 2. And the reason for this is that base times height we know is the area of a quadrilateral. So because this is a triangle, this is half of a quadrilateral. If we had 2 of these, it'd make a single quadrilateral. So we always have to divide it by 2. Now we're going to apply this to this triangle here. So the area of this triangle, well, my base is going to be 10 meters. And my height is going to be 7 meters, this upright one here. 10 multiplied by 7 is 70. And the reason I have this box here is because the most important part is that because it's area, we have our units as meters squared. We couldn't just have a simple triangle, we had to make it more complicated. Yesterday we had compound shapes of quadrilaterals where we were putting lots of rectangles together. Today we're looking at compound shapes, but this time we're putting some triangles in there. So you can see here we've got a slanted edge. The same theory applies to this compound shape. We've got to split up the shape into shapes that we can deal with. Now I know that I can split this shape up down here to make a quadrilateral here, rectangle, and a triangle here. And we're going to find the area of each part separately. So the first part that I'm going to find is the rectangle. I know my rectangle is base times height. So for this rectangle here, I can just do 10 centimeters, this base, multiplied by my 12 centimeters here. So if I do 10 multiplied by 12, I get 120. And remember our units are centimeters times centimeters. So centimeters squared. So I'm just going to fill that in there so I know this part. And the second part is what we've learned today. We have this triangle here. Now this is a bit tricky because we haven't been given the base of the triangle or the height of the triangle. So we're going to have to work this out. Pause the video here and see if you can work out what the height and the base of this triangle is going to be from these measurements. Okay, now you've had a think. We're going to look at how we find these height and base. Well, we know that this height here is 12 centimeters and this height here is 3 centimeters. So in order to make this total height 12, this height here has to be 9 centimeters because 9 plus 3 is equal to 12. I work the same way with the base, so I know that this base here is 16 centimeters and this one here is 10. So in order to make these two add together to make 16, this part here, just this part, has to be 6 centimeters. And now that I know the base and the height, I can calculate the area of the triangle. I have my base of 6 centimeters and my height of 9 centimeters. And remember, this has to be over 2. So 6 multiplied by 9 is 54. I divide that by 2 to get 27. Remember, it's still centimeters squared because I have centimeters times by centimeters. Now to get my final area, I have to add these together. So 120 plus 27 is equal to 147. So my final area of this whole shape, because this is 27, is 147. Remember, I have this box here because the most important part is units. So I have 147 centimeters squared.